Welcome to the Beer League. My name is Jamal, aka Budweiser, five-time champ, the head commish with the Super Bowl ring because I'm five-time champ. I'm here over here with Michelob Ultra, aka Renee, Dos Keys, Alejandro, Mr. Eighth Wonder on the far side, Mr. Chris. Go ahead and introduce yourself, boys.
What's going on? This is your boy Michelob Ultra. I'm always repping what I'm drinking. You know what I'm saying? Cheers to you guys.
How's it going, guys? It's Dos Equis here. I'm repping the Whataburger sweet tea. Can't go wrong.
What's going on, guys? It's Eighth Wonder. I got nothing to rep or to sponsor. Just the Infinity Blend.
Oh, okay. He has the best drink of the night. Okay.
Drink of the night right there. Probably the week of the month. All right, so guys, we're going to go over the boom and bust and the results we had from last week. Three guys were on the show, but we're going to hang on Chris. Real quick, boom of last week's results. Mr. Dos Keys, you said Mr. Stephon Diggs was going to have a good game.
And he did.
What's a good game considered to you, actually?
A good game is catching 8 out of 9 passes for 86 yards. That's a good game. That's good target share. I mean, it definitely is not a bad game.
Even though the number 2 guy actually outscored him in fantasy points?
There are plenty of times where the number 2 guy has a week. Sammy Watkins had 3 touchdowns first week last year, and he had a great game first game this year. Are you going to depend on Sammy? I don't think so. You know who the guy is.
Okay. Mr. Michelob, you said, well, for right now purposes, you said Big Ben.
Big Ben. And actually, he did have a good game. He did 3 touchdowns. Only other people that did more than him were Russell Wilson. And who was it? I think it was 4 touchdowns. And who was the other one? I forgot.
Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers, which at the beginning from the season, I was like, he has something to prove. So I think that Big Ben still did a good job, and he did a better job than a lot of the other quarterbacks. I mean, look at Drew Lock, look at Baker Mayfield. I mean, where were those guys at?
That's very true.
So,
I myself said Austin Eckler. I was very high on Austin Eckler. He did get 19 carries, no catches, but he did get 80 yards. Was it a good game?
By captain check down.
It was so, but
no captain check down.
I will say
you would expect Austin Eckler to get at least 1-2 catches.
I see it Dallas Goedert earlier coming up. I see it Dallas. Go ahead, Mr. Chris Eighth Wonder. What do you say about Dallas Goedert? What are you going to try to say?
Oh, I wasn't going to say anything about Dallas Goedert. It was just in contrast to Eckler's performance. But I could say my busts were just as embarrassing. I trusted a Cleveland Brown member named Chubb. Garbage. The entire team, garbage. This is what I get for going for a losing organization. Never draft one of them. It's just going to break your heart.
Very true. Very true. I went with Tom Brady, and I actually killed it with the buff pick. I thought Tom Brady was going to be horrible. I also thought that he wasn't going to be able to throw the ball downfield. The team needs continuity, and it showed. Too many penalties off the bat. He can't get anything done. I mean, by the first half, he barely had, I think, 80 or 90 yards, barely. It was not the Tom Brady you think you're getting Tom Brady. This is the Tom Brady you saw last year who had a hard time throwing. And then Mr. Dos Keys, you had, well, both you, Dos Keys, and also said AJ Green.
And by any means, he did not have a good game. I mean, the guy, the person who shined there was Joe Burrow.
Yeah, it's true.
Joe Burrow was the guy. He was the player of the night, really, for the Cincinnati Bengals. AJ Green did not perform to what he was. I mean, he drafted 18th round or 10th round? I don't know what he's picking him up at now.
4th round before guys like David Johnson, who performed phenomenally.
Who has AJ Green?
Raise your hand if you're in the feed and you have AJ Green on your team.
This guy.
That's all you need to know.
5 for 9 targets, 51 yards. That's all he got.
You can do better.
Not great, but I would say it's not
51 yards, inability to go up and get it.
Michael Thomas did worse. All right, waiver pickups we had last week. I said James Robinson. That was actually a pretty good hit on that one. Alex said Mr. Crackhead Josh Gordon. Yeah, that's definitely was a no.
Not active.
And Mr. Renee said Brian Edwards of the Raiders.
and that was not.
Did not hit at all. I mean, come on, guys. It's a week one. I'm not going to be too much pressure, but I'm going to say this: crackhead Josh Gordon, really?
Josh.
That is not a week one pickup. That is for your season.
That's for the season.
That's for the season. So if you have an issue with my recommendation, it's not the recommendation. It was the way you portrayed it.
Sure. Okay. Now, team of the week, we went last week. I said New Orleans came up big in a good game. They came up big on that defense, strong defense. Mr. Alex, you said KC Chiefs. You actually performed well on that one, but you still say it was what?
They delivered, and I expect even more going forward from them. I do have a team of the week this week if we want to go over that. I think that's a very obvious choice. If I'm going to pick a team to go with this week, I'm picking the Niners. Look who they're playing in the New York Jets, who are a disgrace to football right now. You got to know, as the defending NFC champs, going in there, losing last week, a close game against Arizona that they should have won. These guys are coming in. They're fired up. I imagine that they are going to decimate the Jets.
Are we doubting the Arizona Cardinals?
Believe in the Cardinals. All right? I just believe the Niners are better. Okay. The Niners are the better team there. The better team lost.
Chris, you want to comment on this?
No, with the Cardinals, it's always going to be the same thing. Defense. They don't have it. But they're going to put up enough points to probably at least pull out 500. But can they go up against a team that consistently gets better every week on defense? That's going to be tough for them because at some point that running game is going to stop. And that's all you can do there.
I think the team for me would be the Los Angeles Rams. They're going against the Eagles. Eagles look horrendous. The Rams actually look good. I think that the Rams are going to be a team that the game Eagles and Rams is going to be a game to look at. And I think the Rams is going to be the one coming up on top.
Now, you last week said the Bucks were going to beat the Saints.
Why you got to beat it up on old news, bro? Look, I'm talking about what's going on.
Don't be mad.
I'm not.
The Rams are going to beat the Eagles.
I definitely think the Rams are going to beat the Eagles. That's. I feel no matter none of this alert is going to be able to beat the Rams. I mean, they really practically had no one else but the tight ends to throw in, and now I am agreeing with you there. That's correct. However, that's all they have.
Thank you for bringing this up twice. So we're going to say well, besides the guy you picked. I'm going to go first because it's been mentioned twice. Mr. Dallas Goedert. 8 catches, 101, a touchdown. I called it last week when I said don't be surprised when Mr. Dallas Goedert is going to show up. What'd he do? Mr. Alexander, what'd you say? Did he show up or no?
Blake Jarwin is out for the season, right?
He even last one quarter.
Yeah, let's not celebrate an injury here, guys. All right?
I'm not celebrating. I'm just saying you're definitely out the bet.
Played yourself. Here's a quarter.
Well, yeah, the bet has been null and void. That is a no contest. But moving on from that.
Any player you thought he did well besides the guy you picked out last week? What guy do you think he did well the past weekend?
That I didn't pick?
That you didn't pick, yeah.
Nyheim Hines.
That was very surprising.
That dude came up, but everybody knew that he could catch, he could run. He was just a backup to Marlon Mack, and that boy showed up. I don't know how anyone feels about Nyheim Hines and Jonathan Taylor, but, I mean, that's a great combo for the team, period. No matter what. I think Nyheim Hines will come up, like he'll start taking over, but they're going to want to get Jonathan Taylor involved and want him to take over. But I think for the next couple of weeks, I think Nyheim Hines is going to be, leading that backfield.
Mr. Alejandro, what you think?
Oh, man, guy who really, really exploded. I'd go with Josh Jacobs out of Vegas Raiders. Yeah. All right. Yeah. That guy, he's establishing himself. He's making you regret not picking him. I can tell you that right now.
I will agree with you on this one, Alex. I almost got the option to pick him up.
You see the way that guy performed? I'm like, man, I should have taken Josh Jacobs.
Where's he from? What the hell is this?
That's all I'm thinking. I watched the guy play, and I'm like, man, this guy is ready to go off. All right.
Yes, you are making me. He's making me regret not picking him up.
right?
But that was unforeseen. I mean, I am sorry. I couldn't imagine him having such a great opening week. That was great for
Well,
fantasy
he had a
purposes.
really, really good rookie season last year. But man, I think year 2 is showing. He's showing a lot of potential here. He's gonna be the centerpiece of that offense.
All right, Mr. Eighth Wonder, what do you think for next week? Or past week, what do you think? Who did well?
This one's kind of hard to say, but I want to go with Russ Wilson. We all knew that he could play. We all knew he was a good quarterback. We didn't know Pete Carroll was just going to let him do whatever he wanted and throw the rock. If Pete Carroll lets that happen all year, there's a lot of people who picked up a bargain all over the fantasy world. Russ Wilson.
Not in our league.
DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett.
I will say the Russell Wilson was very impressive. I wrote him down as impressive too, but I was very impressed with the fact the stat line, I think, what was it, 31-35 and 31-35, 322, 4 touchdowns and 29 rush yards.
4 touchdowns, yeah.
They let the guy throw for 35 times, not being behind all game.
Ridiculous.
The guy who did better percentage-wise was just Gardner Minshew.
Yeah,
I mean, that was on point. I'm gonna say, and they didn't have to play from behind either. So impressive. All right, rest of the week, person you thought who didn't do good last week. What do you think, Mr. Chris? Who's the one who didn't think he did good?
That didn't do good.
Just look at your roster and then be upset about whoever didn't do good.
Matt Brady. I don't know what I was thinking of drafting him in another league. God. Browns and Dolphins always do what they've done for the last 2 decades.
This is true.
Very true. Mr. Alejandro, what do you think?
Oh, man. You look at the Rams, right? They just had a receiver sign a mega deal or whatever, get extended, puts up just chump numbers. Cooper Kupp. Like, what happened, man? You're supposed to be the guy. All right? And look what he did last week.
You think Robert Woods was better and the running game was supposed to be the running game focus?
4 or 5 targets for 40 yards. That's your signing. That's what you're signing. That's what you're extending. 40 yards a game. That's not good enough. All right, and you know a guy like that can do better. We'll see what happens now that he's the guy there. They got rid of Brandon Cooks. They extended Cooper Kupp with the idea he can be their new number 1. And so far, with the spotlight on him.
Over Robert Woods.
Absolutely. If you're telling me Robert Woods is the number 1 receiver right now for the Rams, you're not watching football.
I thought he was number 1 for the Rams.
I didn't.
You did?
Nobody is thinking that.
I didn't. I'm not trying to contradict you, but I did not think he was the number 1. Nor
I honestly thought he was the number 1 role. I also thought Cooper Kupp was the 3rd or slot receiver more in that fashion.
You're out your mind.
Okay.
Not the money they paid him, he ain't.
Yeah, like come on, that's what I'm saying.
Come on.
Jesus Christ.
All right, my bad. So I go for the bust of the week. It was too many to say, but I'm very surprised at Chris Thompson. Only thing he had was 2 catches and for 6 yards. I mean, what the hell is this?
Are you really though? Like, did you expect a lot out of him?
I expected something else more than 2 catches and 6 yards.
I wasn't hyped on any of the backs at Jacksonville.
I mean,
I don't know.
If you're feeding off of Jacksonville right now, man, like you're just shooting up before the game, man. All right, and you can only play high for so long. Okay, before your ass is out.
Yeah. I'll tell you mine. OBJ really was hoping, and I promise I was hoping he just pulled out at least what he was projected. And that's in all honesty. Even he was off by 2 or 3 points. No, this guy, I mean, and it ain't his fault. I mean, he got some targets, but what was Baker Mayfield? Baker Mayfield did horrible too. What are you guys talking about? Like, Baker Mayfield did not look good. The hype on that team, like, I'm just with Chris. I don't know what I was thinking. I should have just picked up Stephon Diggs instead of him, and I probably would have been better off.
You know, Odell Beckham was my bust candidate for the week 2. All right, he did nothing last year. I'm glad when it came time for me to draft round 2, somebody in the draft here picked him. All right, and I ended up with Juju, who performed phenomenally. Thank God for Big Ben. All right, but Odell Beckham Jr. has shown once again you cannot depend on him. All right, he's no longer Guy Manning throwing him the ball every play.
So we're gonna go real quick for next week. I'm not sure if everybody look at their stuff for next week, but real quick, who do you think will be excelling next week as the best player to look out for? Or what are you gonna go with, Mr. Dosakis?
Well, boom player of the week. I'm going with Allen Robinson.
Oh, you know he has a trade today.
With the Bears, that dude is pissed. All right, he is upset. All right, he's playing against the Giants right now, who've given up some big plays. All right, and if I'm Allen Robinson, I'm going in, and I'm not only showing the Bears how I play, I'm showing every other team in the league. This is what I'm worth. All right, so if they're not going to pay me, hey, he's auditioning. All right, great matchup, ready to go off. I'm going with Allen Robinson.
How many times have we seen that in sports, Chris? A few times. Huh?
No, you're talking about A-Rob? Yeah. I mean, he's good. He has talent.
I found big last year where he's like, I went out unless you pay me or something like that.
Yeah, players nowadays are forcing their way out more often than not. When they don't want to be there, they perform. They get out.
Robinson, this by the way, was my guy to be like come back our player of the year. Could be a good candidate. So yeah, it could possibly be. Mr. What's your bus player who's going to disappoint Mr. Dosakis?
Oh, again, Odell Beckham.
Odell.
All right. He's playing against Cincinnati, and they're just Browns are not going to perform. It doesn't matter how much talent they have. They have no excuse for not performing. They have a number one. They have a number two receiver. They have two of the best running backs in football. They have a good O-line. They got the number one pick at quarterback. They have good tight ends. I mean, what is the reason for this dysfunction on offense? Because all the talent in the world is there, but Odell is not performing. And I just don't trust a guy who, once again, is showing an inability to lead that offense.
All right. Mr. Chris, what do you think? Boom, a player for next week coming up.
I'm going back with Cam. He is their only offensive weapon. They're going to let him do what he wants, at least till he breaks his ankle again. Cam's going to be my boom. My bust, I have to go with the Browns. Mayfield. I just don't trust the Browns. And right now, let Burrow get on a run. Oh, that's going to be the darling team of the year if the Bengals pull off 3 straight to start the season, despite of who they're playing. But yeah, Mayfield, it's over. They might as well just start looking at new quarterbacks, trading for quarterbacks now. They got to do something else because this ain't it.
And your pickup of the week.
My pickup of the week of who's still
available at this point? Yeah. I mean, it's crazy, bro.
I got you a pickup of the week right here.
You got Michael Pittman available. Pick him up. I mean, shoot, there's not that many pickups, bro.
Dude, Logan Thomas out of Washington, tight end right there. All right, if you're hurting for a tight end, what did he come up with? 8, 9 targets this last week? All right, only one other guy, Terry McLaurin, it had similar, if not more than him. There's a guy who could really help you. He could really go off. Every year there's a few tight ends who go off right there. The Washington football team, they got a guy. All right, and I guarantee you he's available. Let's see. I got him 2% owned. 2% owned.
Because no one knows
Yahoo leagues.
First place. Yeah. Michaela, what do you think?
My boom would be Adam Thielen. I think he's gonna have a great next game. He's the only receiver that pretty much Kirk Cousins was reliable on, and that showed reliability. Running game was awesome, but he was the receiver. As far as the receiving core, he is the man. So Adam Thielen as my boom. My bust, sorry to do this to whoever has this player, but Nick Chubb. He's not going to perform either again. Like, Cleveland's looked horrible, and it's not to pick on that team. It's just
the backup there, Kareem Hunt. 13
backup, come on.
72 yards, 4 catches, and he was getting all the goal line work. I don't know if y'all noticed that, but I'm like, what's going on there? Like, the backup's getting the goal line work. He's getting the carries.
It's a situational field. That's what it's. Hot hand. What's your pickup player of the week, Mr. Michelob?
I mean, I would say Michael Pittman. He's owned at a low percentage, I believe, about 22% owned in Yahoo leagues. So he's a good pickup. candidate, especially with Marlon Mack being injured, and they got a rookie running back that they're going to try to push to be their number one. They might have to find different options, especially with Phillip Rivers being, just check down quarterback. Can't really run anymore. But the Colts are really going to protect him. They have a good O-line, so he's probably going to have these little slant routes and stuff like that to throw to.
Mr. Ace Wonder, what is your team and Blake pickup?
My pickup's going to be Anthony Miller. I don't think this Robinson thing is going to get fixed. I think it's a wrap. Like if Trubisky listened, they wouldn't be in this situation to begin with. So he's just going to move on. And Anthony Miller had a good game last week. He's only owned in about 58% of the Yahoo leagues. So that could be an opportunity to pick up number 2, who might become a quarterback's favorite wide receiver.
Team of the week, Mr. Ace Wonder.
Team of the week?
I think he's going to win next.
I'm still going. I'm on the Cam train now. Patriots.
I can't fan for as long as I know. Yes, he has. I mean, I'm gonna go with my boom pick for next week. I'm gonna go. I mean, there's too many options out there. Why not go with the Green Bay receiver? Just list any Green Bay receiver. Devontae Adams, Lazard, MVS. I mean, any one of them.
Pick one.
Pick one.
I mean, just any receiver. Quite frankly, is gonna go off. I mean, I can't say one. If I'm really gonna say an actual one player, I'm gonna go with Cooper Kupp.
That's not Green Bay.
I can't just pick a one on Green Bay because there's too many receivers who are getting the ball fed to them. But one player. Got to put one player. Cooper Kupp.
You really took a connecting flight from Green Bay all the way out to California that quickly.
Not just that, you went from Cooper Kupp, number 1, to Cooper Kupp. That's my guy. What the hell?
Okay. Cooper Kupp.
No. You went to from Bobby Trees. He's the number 1 there, and Cooper Kupp is a slot receiver to the best guy is going to be next week's going to be Cooper Kupp. What is that?
What's up with that?
It's gonna be good.
What? Okay. Anyway, so who's your bust?
My bust, I'm going to go with Christian McCaffrey.
Okay. That is something.
Oh, so the number 1 guy in fantasy is a bust. Moving on.
CMC, really? Come on.
CMC, he's going to be a bust next week. You know who he's playing against?
It doesn't matter. That's what I'm going to tell you. It doesn't matter who he's playing against. He is going to get his projection points all day long. He did not get drafted number 1.
Against, it doesn't matter if he's number 1. It doesn't matter if he's number 1 pick or not. He's playing against the Bucs. The Bucs have a very tight defense this past week. Did you not see the game? I know you saw the game.
How many points did Alvin Kamara put up this last week?
A good enough, mostly because of the 2 touchdowns and the catches.
Are you telling me Kamara is more talented than McCaffrey?
Are you telling me look at the stats? All rushes, 16 yards.
Right. If Kamara can do it, so can McCaffrey.
16 yards. Not 60.
McCaffrey's going to have more yards than that.
Okay, how much? That defense was pretty solid. They were getting the backfield pretty consistently.
Bro, on the low end, he'll have 75 yards.
Look, I'm telling you, y'all seeing Christian McCaffrey gain all these 25, 28, 30 points. Christian McCaffrey will not score more than 20 points this week. He will not.
I beg to differ. Even if it's 20 points.
Christian McCaffrey will not score more than 20 points this week against the defense. Y'all gonna eat.
Are you recommending to people to bench Christian McCaffrey? Is that what you're saying?
I mean, you don't never supposed to bench your all-stars, your first-round picks, but quite frankly, if you have someone else, better option, roll with them.
Wow. So who's better than the number 1 overall pick? Let me hear it.
I mean, Derrick Henry.
Who do I have?
Christian McCaffrey against that defense, I'm not sold.
So you're supposed to have McCaffrey and Derrick Henry, 2 first-round picks on your roster.
Please.
What are you suggesting here? I'm just trying to get to the bottom of it.
A lot of these guys had a lot of, like Chris Carson went late, very late. Okay, a lot of guys had a lot of good running backs went late. They could easily come and got them. Josh Jacobs,
sir, whatever you're drinking, take the lid off, pour it out. Okay, you need to stop.
No, whatever you're drinking, share it with your friends.
Share it with your friends, man.
I guess I want to feel the way you're feeling, Jamal. Jesus Christ.
Watch me next week. I'm telling you.
Look, I'll give you Dallas Goedert, right? I'll give you Goedert. I'll give you that, but this one right here, dude, I have to see it to believe it.
He won't score more than 20 points next week. My team next week, I'm going to go with
What's
the
the
Rams.
stat line? Let me hear the
With
stat
the
line.
Rams? Oh, that's my team. That's the one I picked. All right,
Go
cool.
with the Rams next week. That's my
what I'm
team.
talking about. That's what I'm talking about. That's why I went with.
My pickup, I'm going to go with. I'm on the high trend. I'm going to go with Malcolm Brown. I was very impressed with the Rams offense. Very impressed with the commit to the run game. He looked very powerful. He looks very full steam. The coach is going with the run first right now and going a little bit the play option kind of pass. Malcolm Brown, pick up the week. If you have him, be your first priority to go get.
Malcolm Brown is only owned in 28% of Yahoo leagues and 8% of ESPN leagues. So whoever's watching, Malcolm Brown is definitely available for in most of the leagues in any platform as far as Yahoo and ESPN.
So I know we went over the next week and all stuff. Real quick, in our league, because we just finished our first week in the league, and not a lot of shit talking was during the whole weekend and yesterday. Yes, the main. I want to say I want to be selfish, but I will say the main person doing the shit talking was Shaw Talk versus Budweiser.
You're just saying that because your butt hurt.
Huh?
Yeah, quiet.
You're just saying that because your butt hurt.
Butt hurt.
I'm a little butt hurt. I'm not gonna lie to you. I lost my first game.
So, boy can't even admit it, can't even say it.
I can't even say it. I lost to a girl my first week. She performed well like she's supposed to do. Congrats to Shot Top for putting the points up. Hey.
Hold on.
That's what I like to do. I like to talk a lot of crap. I get on there, just silence. I'm like, I thought you said this was fun. Like, I did really well my first week doing this. Like, I haven't kept up with football since before Peyton Manning retired. That was like really the last year that I really kept up with football. So coming into this and all these new players, like I don't know who the hell these guys are, and I don't know, just winning my first time, it was just like, wow, you guys have been doing this shit for years, and you let me come in here and just,
You can project all you want. You have to prove it.
That's what he said.
Exactly. So you beat him, but that's the only guy you've beaten. So continue to do that, and you will earn respect. But as of right now, I don't believe in you. So
it's all good because when I do make it to playoffs, I want to hear you say the exact same thing.
That's fine. When I knock you out the playoffs, then I'll be like, "What'd you say? Nothing." Okay, thank you so much. I'll drink my beer and say cheers.
GG Jamal, for real. GG. Here's Alex.
Hey, congratulations. Good luck the rest of the season. But hey, yeah, Shot beat me. Very surprised. But next week we have a good game coming up next week. I know we have Ace Wonder versus Michelob. These two guys, Chris and Mr. Renee.
Oh, I just want to put it out there just for the history books. Of all time, I have not and probably will not beat him until he gets out the league and comes back and kind of reverses the curse, because every single year, even when I'm projected to win, he still beats me. Somehow, some way. It's been by Derrick Henry, Patrick Mahomes, random guys that at the time you're like, oh, they're having the best season that they've had that year. So I don't know who you got this year that's going to get me, but he's going to get me.
I'm actually on a bench you're going to put in last second.
Somehow.
I was projected to win by 20 points against Red Stripe, and Josh Allen cooked.
Yeah.
Cooked. Calvin Ridley cooked.
Yeah.
Last
Hey,
week
here's
was tough, so here's going forward.
Hey, I'm working on a trade right now. I'm hoping it comes through.
Let's see.
And maybe.
Oh, let me go and block that. Hold on.
Yeah, well, that one's already been talked about. Don't worry. Hey, raise your hand if you won this week. Anybody? Just me? Damn.
One game, he's already talking to Matt.
Damn.
One game.
It's okay. Week 1 champions.
That's all it takes. That's all it takes.
Week 1 champions.
I'm gonna be week 2, week 3, week 4. This hand's staying up. Hands in the air. Because we just don't care.
Saying this every year. Playoffs. All right, next game of the week, I can probably say possibly it'll be Heineken versus Corona, the champ. By the way, this Saturday we have the champ coming on the show. Some little Q&A with the champ. See how he feels. Yeah, Mr. Cole.
The Rona.
Or some other beer besides Corona. And then also another matchup we're looking out for this weekend is Shock Top versus Mill. Like two guys who did pretty good this past week over 200 points.
That's second place versus fifth right there.
Last thing is, what are you drinking? I know, Mr. Chris, you're drinking something exquisite. Don't know what that is. But I want it, though. I really do.
Infinity whiskey? What'd you say? Infinity bourbon? Or what was it?
Yeah.
I want what Jamal's drinking right there. I just want something, man, gonna make me fucking crazy.
You said the same thing the last couple of weeks, bro, and I've been right pretty much on all my shit. Okay,
You lost, dude. You lost.
it's because I
What are you
lost.
talking about?
Okay.
Eighth
Okay.
Wonder, what are you drinking?
All right, so I'm drinking an infinity blend. What this is every time you're drinking a new bourbon, you let it get down about a quarter of the way, you pour something else in there. The idea is that your very first bourbon is still part of the blend because you never let it get down to zero. So it's pretty unique to what you're tasting and what you're drinking, because this is probably a mix about of 20 to 25 bourbons over the last 5 years that have been blended in this and mixed. So right now it's really heavy on proof bourbon, so it's a little hotter than I typically like.
I can see that.
It is solid.
Alejandro, what are you actually drinking tonight?
I told you, man. Whataburger sweet tea, bro.
Tea.
I'm up on the green tea under the sweet tea, bro. It's a sweet day. Hell, some of us are winners.
Andy brought the guns out.
Boom.
Oh God.
Right there.
He wins one game. Look how he is. One game.
Oh, you can't stop the hype train. That's all it takes. It's rolling.
That's great. That's
It's
great.
Michelob. What are you drinking?
You know exactly my name. It's what I'm drinking. Michelob. I'm always wearing the hat. Cheers to everyone drinking.
Cheers.
I'm going to go with Mr. Pibb and Tucker right there. Proof bourbon right here. It's pretty good, pretty strong. Oh, you catch that, Mr. Alejandro? That's
Yeah.
Uh,
Are you drinking that out? Are you drinking that out of the bottle, man?
Hello.
so we got a guest. We got another guest right here. We got Modelo, who said he didn't know he was playing for the first week.
Look,
But
I didn't know I was
You
playing.
said you lined up
Nobody told me nothing. Nobody said anything. I didn't get the memo. And then next thing you know, Dre hit me up. He's like, "Are you playing?" I'm like, "Playing? What are you talking about? I didn't even know I was playing." And I get on the thing, I loaded it up, and there it was, my new team.
oh, they blocked our trade.
What? Why? That was a good trade. That was legal. That was a good trade.
Modelo finally comes into the picture. Finally. All right, we had
Yeah, but they blocked the trade. They don't allow that kind of trade. At least that's what I was told. I don't know.
about that later, okay? But as far as
I'm willing to trade a quarterback.
on the show,
I need a quarterback. Well, a better one.
special guest Corona. Y'all have a good night.
All right.
Take it easy, night.
Oh, Chris is out. Chris got something to do.